Now, friends, colleagues and the Kenyan public have been piling pressure to have the police find lawyer Willie Kimani. But beyond the little that is in the public about him, who is Willie Kimani, the person? Well, many colleagues and friends understandably feared to speak publicly, but his friend and one-time colleague Mungai Mbudi spoke to us, sharing more about him.
Nudia, he happened to be a former colleague of mine. I came to know him around 2007. When he was still in the University of Nairobi, Parkland's Road campus. When he came to the office, he was also an official of the SONU by then. When he came to the office, we were working on the issues to do with security, especially things to do with extrajudicial killing. You remember that's a period when there was a crackdown of the Mungiki in 2007, 2008. So we had a program, and especially on the question about the security. Also within that period, there was a time when we had this, SLDF from Mount Elgon. So that was one of areas we were of our target. We had also in Nakuru because of the extrajudicial killings, Nairobi and Kiambu. So he had the passion of listening to the people's story, especially the victims. And out of that, the organization came to like him. Even after the internship, when he went back to the campus, he still came over, even when he was at a Pipridge. He could come over to the office, find what we are doing. He could volunteer to go and interview clients. He could also go and handle issues to do with the question about the rights of the people. Then later in 2010, he also participated in telling the people what the proposed constitution was by then, what it entailed, and the passion. He happened to help in so many cases, especially of disappearances and extrajudicial killings, and also to do with torture. I remember there is a case we had in Mukuru, Wanjenga, somebody had been shot. Whereas the other there were two. One did not die, the other guy was arrested. And he pursued this case until it has not yet been concluded even up to now. But he used to handle cases of people whose rights have been trampled on by the state. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, we called, I talked to him over the phone, and also I was also expecting to see him on 7th of this month, because we have a National Prayers Day. He is a person who is concerned about people, yeah, and the colleagues he works with or he has been working with, and also the question about mentoring the young generation. He is still a youngster, he is a youth, and he has been mentoring so many people. Many people have faced violations. Even as we were giving the information, the press release, we say that there are people who also are facing threats because of the work they do, the criminalization of the human rights work. Whoever might have information or could have seen what happened on 23rd of June, they should come forward and share with us or share with the media, so that we ensure that our colleagues, we see their colleagues, so that we can close the matter, or we start now holding people to account.
All right, let's now join our reporter Timothy Otieno, who has been trying to link up with Willie Kimani's family members at the city mortuary here in Nairobi. Timothy, good afternoon. Talk to us. Have you managed to speak with the lawyer's family?
Well, none of the family members were here when we arrived shortly about 1.5 hours ago here at the Nairobi City Mortuary. But we were able to link up with a few of the lawyers who worked with the late Willie Kimani, in particular Dan Kinuthia and Thomas Owuya, whom we found here and had been sent here on behalf of the Law Society of Kenya. Now, the two were able to positively identify Willie Kimani as one of the two bodies that were brought here at the city mortuary earlier on this morning. The other body that is still missing are believed to be that of the taxi driver, one Joseph Muiruri, who went missing alongside two others, of course the advocate Willie Kinuthia, as well as the client who was a complainant in the case which they were hearing in Mavoko, and that is of course Josephat Muiruri. Now the lawyers of course terming this as a very sad day for them. They were able to say that from what they saw and the body in which they saw somebody who died a really painful death, and of course they were describing it as a really horrific scene, and of course they were to relay information to the Law Society of Kenya on the next course of action in regards to this matter. It is a case that has drawn a lot of public attention over the last 2 weeks. We did see, of course, on Wednesday this week, the lawyers make a peaceful demonstration to the office of the Inspector General of Police, Joseph Boynet, urging for there to be quick action in the matter. Unfortunately, it's a matter that has since, or is about to end, or has ended in fatality of 3 people, of course, found this morning. But as it stands, the lawyers were here. They've since gone back to brief members of the Law Society of Kenya. We have not been able to identify any of the family members. We were informed earlier on that they had since made their way to the Nairobi area police station to record statements. But of course, they had accompanied the 2 bodies that arrived here earlier on in the morning, one of them being positively identified as that of the advocate Willie Kimani.
Right, Timothy, and of course we also since have learned that the Inspector General, Joseph Boynet, has ordered the arrest of 3 police officers that are suspected to have been involved in the kidnapping. So are these lawyers as well saying this is a matter they will follow up, that now that the bodies have been found, it doesn't end there, that they will ensure justice is served and indeed be seen to be served?
Well, from the onset of this case, it has been a group mentality. The Law Society of Kenya really gathering and coming together, demanding for justice of the abduction of the lawyer. And that is the same tone that was reflected by the 2 members of the Law Society of Kenya, whom we found here, Dan Kinuthia and Thomas Ouya, both insisting that they would be giving the next course of action after they had briefed their colleagues from the Law Society of Kenya. They shied away from making any immediate comment in regards to the next step forward after the bodies have been found, only saying that they were going back to the office to brief the Law Society of Kenya. Of course, the president of the Law Society of Kenya, Isaac Okero, has been actively involved in this case, of course, demanding for quick action. And you can expect that the Law Society of Kenya will be making a statement really soon in regards to the next course of action. This is a lawyer who was representing a client who had filed a case to the Independent Police Oversight Authority in regards to one senior official from the administration police camp in Syokimau. And most of the lawyers had suggested that the disappearance of the lawyer, his client, and the taxi driver had been linked to that case, which they were hearing immediately when they were taken at around midday on the 23rd of June. So the lawyers have expressed themselves that they feel and raise a lot of suspicion in regards to the abduction, suggesting that it could directly be involved with the case involving the administration police. But of course, they are saying that right now they have to hold consultations to come up with a unified voice and a unified direction in this regard following the latest developments.
All right, Timothy Otieno, live for us at the City Mortuary. Thank you so much for that update. Definitely a story we'll continue to track for you in coming days and bring you all the updates. Now.